I don't know any of the cigar like shape, wrap, whatever you call them, names.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you call this one.
Yeah, we've said before that we need a poster that tells us what they are.
Well, when we have our new studio set up for season 2, we can have a cigar poster up.
Deal.
We'll need to get one.
I'll work on that.
It'll look different in a few episodes. This is 35.
Correct.
So probably
40?
Probably hit close to 40 and then start over.
I know we had talked about changing it up a little bit. I'm cool with it. I like change. No, I don't. I take it back. I don't like change at all, actually. In fact, I despise change. But this is a little different. Well, that's got a good smell.
I like it. I love these Rocky Patels.
So the wife went and bought these. Okay, I like the stream Twitch, the video on the Twitch too. It's good. Only problem is I have to be conscious of what I'm wearing on my bottom half. The wife went and got this for me. She did good. She was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Just anything Connecticut." She's like, "I got you." So Carrillo, Connecticut. And I think I finally have figured out my humidor. So I took it completely out of the open air. It sits in a case, inside a cabinet. I have like a coffee cabinet, and that seems to have helped the humidity a lot better, a lot more. It's not as all over the place. Let's see here. Nope, that's not what I want to do. We have reached a point on TikTok. We have reached a point on the TikTok, on the Facebook, and on the YouTube where we can stream from there now too. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't watch the Twitch. I don't watch live streaming on any other platform. So maybe we'll have to try that out in season 2.
Streaming on all the platforms.
The problem is the way that we do it is just from a single iPad. So,
I mean, we also started with a lot less equipment too. Podcast wise.
That we did.
A lot less equipment.
And I think we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot and gotten a little bit better at it. The Twitch is already saying, new setup, who dis?
Yeah. You're going to love it. It's going to be great.
By the way, you were right. You're right. We didn't talk about this when you got back because we talked about so many other things. But while you were gone, I set up my Apple Wallet.
Yes.
Game changer, man.
Yes.
Game changer. I should have done it a long time ago. A long time ago. I think I need to move my cigar to this hand because I have to go over the microphone.
Yeah, we got room.
I'm taking adjusting time here. That's all right. Yeah. Walking up and tapping my phone.
Yeah.
Totally changes.
You don't have to get your wallet out, open it up, get a card out, and then tap the card versus just like click, tap it.
Yeah,
that's
I
also
like
cool
it.
about it. If you get a new credit card number for some reason, like fraud in your account or whatever, as soon as you like call your card company or whatever and they issue a new card, it automatically updates on your phone.
Oh.
So you don't have to wait for it to come in the mail to start using it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have fraud problems knock on wood. We haven't had that issue, but I don't like it. I do like whenever I get a new card that I've noticed within the apps itself, it changes.
Yeah.
You know, like Capital One, it'll change pretty quickly. But yeah, you're definitely right about that. And sports talk, spring training has started.
Training camp.
Training camp. I said spring training last week too. And you looked at me with that look right there.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was, so I didn't say anything. I was like, I know that's not it, but I don't know what it
Training
is.
camp. Training camp has started. Do you pay attention at all in preseason?
No, just the highlights.
Gotcha.
We've gone to some preseason games.
Really? Oh, games, but not spring training.
No.
I think that would be the best. Like if you could go to game 1 of preseason at AT&T, that's probably the one to go to.
Yeah, where they're actually playing. I think their third preseason game, it's one of them in the second or third, maybe the fourth, but I think it's the third. They're playing the Ravens, and that's my son's favorite team, so I thought about going. Tickets will be cheap, but it's like third game nobody's going to be playing, so.
Yeah, hold on. It's asking me to filter something. Sorry, the chat was having an issue. I have no desire to go watch the Cowboys at AT&T unless it's free. I just feel like I get a better view at the house.
I just prefer being at my house anyway, but it's fun. I like the only thing really better about a game is I like getting my own view. I can see the whole field.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not watching whatever the cameraman's showing on the TV. Right.
That's fair.
So, because I like watching, camera's always going to follow the ball. If it's a pass, they're going to follow the ball to the receiver. But you can see some scruff ups and stuff happening with the linemen still back here. I like I like being able to see all that.
Well, they have these new views now. With I noticed it with the Ranger game on ESPN. They have a StatCast, and then they have the regular.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the StatCast one is for the nerds that are going to like predict the pitch and where is it likely going to go next and things like that. But I wonder if they'll do that, especially since they're in talks with, or ESPN is in talks with NFL Network and NFL Red Zone. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
To purchase it, and then, man, if they do that, that changes it.
Yeah.
I haven't subscribed to NFL Red Zone just because it's not my cup of tea. And anytime I want to watch, it's on national TV. Like the game that I want to watch is on national TV. So I've never even really considered doing that.
Man, I'm just glad we get football this Thursday.
And
I don't care that it's a preseason game. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I will. We'll have it on for sure.
I'll watch it.
Who is it? Do you know?
No. It doesn't matter. I did know. I just can't remember right now.
Well, let's look it up. The Hall of Fame game will be the Los Angeles Chargers and the Detroit Lions.
And that'll be an all right game.
Should be.
We were in Vegas this past weekend, and we're in the pool. Always have a lot of good conversations in the pool. But there are these Giants fans there.
I really didn't take you for a pool guy.
Oh, no. We always go to the pool. That's why we only go to Vegas in the summer.
Okay.
You're not going to catch me in Vegas in February.
It's too cold.
Yeah. A lot of the pools are closed. They'll have like their smaller pools open. It's not any fun. But Stadium Swim is still open. That's a cool one. Circa. It's got they heat it, so
yeah.
Our camera woman is adjusting for us.
What are you trying to adjust, the Twitch?
Slightly. No, this one. Yeah, just a little bit more. That's good right there.
Okay,
Thanks.
perfect. Thank you.
Our crew in our studio.
Two people
make an adjustment. But so Stadium Swim at Circa is a great pool, and it's so it has a huge screen, like a Jerry World screen, to show games.
Nice.
So
okay, I can see that then.
We're going back in October, because I'm also a Chiefs fan, and also Chiefs play Raiders because they're in the same division, and so but the game where the Chiefs are at Vegas is January 4th. I don't want to do that. So, but in the middle of October is when the Raiders are at Arrowhead. I'm not going to go to Arrowhead. I'm going to go to Vegas, and I'm going to watch the game in Vegas. But
gotcha.
Wear my Chiefs gear and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
that'll be fun. But we're sitting in the pool, and like these Giant fans are talking trash about the Cowboys, and they're like, guys, like, listen, Like, I understand you can hate the Cowboys, but the Cowboys aren't your real enemy right now. Like, we can all hate the Eagles together, and we can agree on this. And then they were talking. They're like, well, you guys haven't had a Super Bowl in 35 years. I'm like, I know. But yours was 15 years ago. Like, it's not like it was yesterday. Plus, you've stunk since then. And I'm pretty sure Dak is undefeated against the Giants.
I don't know their record off the top of my head, but it's going to be close.
It was that way for a long time. He might have let one game go or something. And I think Dak is undefeated. Like, I think the Cowboys have lost to the Giants since then, but it was Cooper Rush or a backup. But either still, it's only been one or two in the last 10 years that we've lost to the Giants. Like, listen, if you're a Giants fan, you can't be talking like about anybody. Like, you're the Jets, you're the Browns, you stink. You can't talk smack.
11-2 is his record
against the Giants.
Against the Giants,
so he let a couple of them go. Still good. 13 games, and so he's had some hurt games. So that's about right.
Yep. And he's on a. Both losses came in his rookie season, and he's currently on an 11 game. He's won the last 12 games.
That's what it is. Okay. So.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough record to argue against.
Your team has lost the last 12 times against Dak Prescott.
Man.
Like, okay, shut up.
And Jameis Winston is making a lot of noise up there. I wonder if he's going to actually get to play.
I asked him, I said, who's your quarterback going to be?
Because they don't technically have one, right?
No, I don't think so.
They got rid of
He said he didn't know. It was a sore subject. Then they started talking trash about CeeDee Lamb. I was like, guys, like, clean up your own house first.
What are they saying about CeeDee Lamb?
He's not a top 5 wide receiver, which is stupid. He's at
least that's a dumb take.
It is. He's at least top 5. You may say that A.J. Brown or somebody else is better, but CeeDee Lamb is at least a top 5.
He's at least top 5. Yeah, for sure. I don't think you're going to get an argument out of
I don't care
most people that aren't maybe a Redskin fan.
Yeah. I think, I don't know what the Redskins are going to do this year, but I think it's going to be a fun team to watch. I don't like them at all, but they do have new ownership, and their QB's pretty good. We'll see how his second season goes.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the Cowboys go, I'm ready for them to get the Micah Parsons thing situated. I think they need to sign him. I'm over that.
Jerry's quote?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Stupid.
I don't. The thing about Jerry is he lives and dies by the mantra of deadlines make deals. The problem is it kind of goes back to what we talked about with politics. Like, everything is out there now.
Yeah.
And like, I think Jerry gets that. I don't think he's as quite in his shell as some of the politicians are about that. But like, come on, man, either pay him or don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, either pay the man his money. He's worth it. I don't know if he's going to reset the market or not. But man,
why does every time you re-up a quote unquote star player in the league, it has to reset the market? Like, I don't understand still how Dak Prescott reset the market. Like, he's not an elite quarterback in the league. He's good. There's only 32 of them total. Like, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good. He is top third of those 32.
Yeah.
Which means he's a top 10 quarterback.
Right.
I would say that all day long. But why does somebody who's just a top 10 quarterback have to reset the market?
You ain't going to get an argument out of me on that one either.
Like, is it really, I guess, like, I don't know. Like, you kind of wonder, like, you just want to go back and do a parallel universe and, like, don't pay him and see if anybody else does. And there's plenty of teams that need quarterbacks, so I'm sure somebody would have.
Yeah, somebody would have. I mean, I think, too, like, the thing is I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but there hasn't been a team that hasn't had a top 5 quarterback win a Super Bowl, right? In the last couple of years. I mean, but in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
last couple of years, I mean, it's all Mahomes, right, and Hurts.
And Hurts, I mean, both of those guys are in the top 5, top 10.
And then Stafford got his.
But again,
yeah,
he's a good quarterback. He's not the best.
No, he got better when he left Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a good trade for them.
Yeah, I just think that, I don't know. There was a lot of talk when Dak signed that they were going to wait and play the season out. But then, like, if he wins and he plays really, really well, you're going to have to pay him even more.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like a dang if you do, dang if you don't type situation. Because you can't, if you don't have a quarterback, you're definitely not going to win.
Right. That's the thing. Well, but Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls.
I kind of have a hot take on that, though. I think at the time, he was top 10.
Yeah. So you're saying
So if you have a top 10 quarterback.
top 10 quarterback.
Top 10.
I'll meet you on there.
And I mean,
all of the Giants Super Bowls, all 4 of them have been with not the best,
right.
not elite quarterbacks.
But my sidebar point to that is he was surrounded by fantastic people.
Right.
And the problem with the NFL, the way it's structured right now, the salary cap is it's almost impossible for you to have multiple skill level people who are top tier unless you draft them. But then you get into year 2 or 3, and then they're wanting to sign an extension. And I don't blame them. Like, this is not a player issue. This is the way the rules are constructed for the salary cap.
I mean, you look at the Eagles, and it's one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team in all of the NFL. You know, when they were doing well and went. So,
yeah, I just think that we got to get this ball rolling. And I'm really interested to see how Schottenheimer does. He seems to be, everything the media is putting out seems to be he's holding feet into the fire.
Yeah.
He's kind of trying to change the culture a little bit.
It is refreshing.
It is.
I mean, we called out our lack of excitement whenever he was announced, right? We talked about that on the pod, and I wasn't excited. I'm not excited today, but what I do like is he doesn't have that. We've had that kind of coach for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's, McCarthy or,
Chan Gailey.
Well, I'm talking about just Garrett the Clapper, whether it's just, it's just uninspiring.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett, at least from what I see in the locker room, could be totally different. I'm not in the locker room. But Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, just uninspiring. Like, well, we went out there and didn't get done what we needed to get done today, but we're going to hit it tomorrow. Like, shut up. Schottenheimer's got some fire in him.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's saying some stuff. So,
And
I don't know. It could be all talk,
energy.
but we'll see. I don't know. He kind of seems like a guy that's like, I got my opportunity.
Yeah.
And he's like running full steam ahead and to take it versus like Garrett was just kind of very comfortable and versus McCarthy's like, I've already won my Super Bowl, had success in Green Bay, kind of coming in here as more of a, let's maybe see if I can get another one, but if not, it's kind of a cool retirement gig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see what that
Schottenheimer
looks like.
seems hungry. That's
the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because
now you can be hungry and have zero talent.
That's true.
So we'll see.
Is he calling the plays?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I told whenever they announced him, I said on the pod, I'm not interested anymore. So I haven't been paying attention. I have not listened to very much sports radio at all this summer. I just haven't.
Really?
No.
Huh.
I've been staying away from it. We'll see. I'm taking a very much of like the little clips here and there I catch, which are mostly through scrolling, not through listening to anything that I'll catch. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I'm taking very much of like, all right, I'm going to watch that first game against the filthy Eagles and be like, we'll see.
Well, I think that a lot of Cowboy fans who are in our age demographic and below. Now, above us is a little different because they were around and watched the victories happen. And I mean, I remember them, but I was not a fan of like I am now.
I had the starter jacket and everything.
Well, me too, but I'm just saying like it was my team because it was my dad's team. Does that make sense?
And where you're from.
And where I'm from. So I was a fan. Whoa. I was a fan, but there's a difference. There's a different fandom now than when I did. And I'm still apathetic. Like I just want to see how it plays out. Like I don't care how the regular season goes. Do we get in the playoffs? Okay, then how does that work out? Because if we look up and there all of a sudden it's 5-5 and we're playing like garbage, then the season is a wash anyways.
It was an online betting platform. I don't remember which one, but they had the Cowboys. I think it was 1150, but basically not favored to make the playoffs. And so I thought that would be an interesting bet to take because I think there's a good chance they make it. But that could be my homerism coming in. Man, 7 teams go.
Yeah. Well, and it just also Let's see here. The odds of the Cowboys Fox Sports South are Fox Sports plus 190. Bet MGM is plus 175.
Yeah.
Big AI projects plus 200. I mean,
That's
just kind of.
That's a different type of money line.
Yeah.
But that's.
I know what you're talking about. I remember seeing it.
They're still underdogs.
I don't. There's enough talent to make the playoffs. Now, will they make the playoffs? I don't know.
Micah comes back. Depends on how Dak plays.
And Overshown coming back from his leg being basically torn off of his body.
Yeah.
But the Rangers.
Last year was a rough year.
I see you have your Ranger hat on.
I do.
They are on a hot tear right now.
Half a game back?
They may have taken it today. I haven't looked at the standings today.
From the wild card. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still, what, 4-ish?
3.5 as of last night.
From the Stros?
Yeah. And
Trash Stros?
Yeah, I can't stand the Astros. There is sports hate, and then there's true hate. I'm somewhere in between on the Stros.
Yeah.
And but it kind of brought up yesterday.
I'm there with you.
It brought up yesterday because they traded Dane Dunning, who was part of the team that won the World Series a couple years ago, and then he comes in to pitch last night as a reliever. So it got me thinking, like, does a player you root for moving to another team bother you? But when I typed this out, I'm like, I was only thinking about Dane Dunning and like baseball. Then like Jerkson Profar plays for the Braves. And like he was supposed to be the next coming of greatness here in Texas. But then it was like, well, am I going to root for Luka this year?
I don't know. I don't follow players. Once you leave my team, you leave my team, I don't think about you. Like, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a fan of the people playing on the Cowboys. But if you leave the Cowboys, like when Zeke left, like, okay, I'm not a Zeke fan anymore.
Right.
That's why, like, I really struggle to buy jerseys because I don't want to buy a jersey of someone who's not on the team anymore.
Unless the last name's Brunson.
Yeah. So I never got a Zeke jersey, but that was for some other reasons. I also don't want to have a jersey that I could never wear anymore because the guy screws up. And so there's a lot of risk that Zeke was going to screw up.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy that jersey, but like I have a Witten jersey.
Okay.
And my Cowboy jerseys are Witten, Dak. I do have a Parsons jersey. I really thought he was going to be there forever. And he may still be.
Yeah.
He may still be.
I'm surprised you don't have a Ware jersey.
I was a fan, but
I just took you as a DeMarcus.
I feel like back when Ware was playing, I probably didn't have jersey money.
That's fair.
They're not cheap.
That's fair. They are not cheap. I mean, they're not cheap. By the way, I may have found a Brunson's jersey, Mavericks Brunson jersey. I'm working on it.
Thank you.
So a guy that I know collects jerseys, and he said that he's going to look in his closet and see if he has one.
Okay.
Because at one point, he had every single Mavs jersey.
Oh, wow.
He's a Mavs fan. He has a collection. So I reached out to him, and he was like, I don't know. I'll have to look. They're at my parents' house, so they're in the process of moving. So I'm working on it.
That'll be good. And then I have the only Chiefs jersey I have is Mahomes. I didn't get a Kelsey jersey.
Talk about a flip, like Travis Kelce.
Have you seen the new Happy Gilmore movie?
We watched almost all of it.
He's in it.
He's in it. Yeah. So that's a good movie.
There's good cameos.
Good cameos. There was a lot of cameos.
And it's the whole like Adam Sandler crew, like all the ones that are in all of his movies. Yeah. And I feel like, it's like Adam Sandler has to keep making these movies so these guys can get a paycheck because they're not working anywhere else. But they'll be in all the Sandler movies. And it's like every time he does a movie, it's like, we're getting paid.
Yeah. Well, and then too, like you saw some big names in there too, like
the golfers.
The golfers were all in there. Almost every single one of them. I didn't see Tiger. He may have been in the background. I just didn't catch it. But like Bad Bunny was in it. My kids knew who that was.
Yeah.
Like all of those guys that have done all the movies with him were in it. Ben Stiller played a big role in that one, and I enjoyed that.
Steve Buscemi.
Yes, all of them.
John Lovitz. Yeah, that was good.
It does kind of make me sad when I see this because Chris Farley should have been part of that group.
Yeah.
Like if he hadn't done what he did, I definitely think he would have been a part of that crew, and you would have seen him at the AA meeting or he would have been the opposite golfer because the guy from The Sixth Sense was in this one.
Yeah, Haley Joel.
Yeah. Well, my wife was like, I think that's the kid from The Sixth Sense. I'm like, no, it's not. When he took his glasses off, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's funny.
But while we're talking about celebrity deaths, we had 3 this week. Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm,
Jamal
Warner, and then Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
The one for Malcolm, the one I from the Cosby Show, like that's a terrible tragedy that happened. For those listeners that don't know, he was pulled out in a riptide, and a surfer saved his kid, and then he passed away, and he drowned. But I was just blown away when that came across, and then you're like, well then here comes 3. So who's the next 2? Well, Ozzy Osbourne traveled to Europe to have his final kind of end of life concert. From what I understand, he was pretty much just held up on stage in a chair. I saw clips of it. I didn't watch the concert. And then Hulkamania. I'm not gonna lie, I was really sad at this one. I took it almost as hard as I took Kobe's death.
Wow. Okay.
I took Kobe's death pretty hard. Like I was telling my wife, there's very few times, I'm not a super emotional guy, especially even as a kid or teenager. I wasn't super emotional and I didn't cry all that much. But when first off, are you into wrestling at all?
No, I don't watch the fake acting. Fighting.
Okay, well, then you can just stay over there and I'm going to talk into the microphone.
I was just going to say, like, for all the people who are, like, I knew who he was and I might have had an action figure at one point, but I never got into it.
So 1996.
People name wrestlers all the time and they're like Randy Savage, I know that name, and like some other names. Like
Roddy
I have no idea.
Piper,
I have no idea who you're talking
Shawn
about.
Michaels.
I can never pick them out of a lineup. I know Hulk Hogan. I know The Rock was a wrestler.
Yes. Stone Cold.
John Cena.
John Cena is a current wrestler.
He's still wrestling.
He's still wrestling. He just came back.
Okay.
So like, if you get to
and Steve Austin, I could have recognized him.
Steve Austin,
so that's I might have been able to pick out 5.
The Undertaker.
No.
Kane.
No.
Mankind.
No.
Oh man, Jake the Snake.
No.
Sting.
No.
Lex Luger.
No.
Macho Man.
No idea who you're talking about.
Macho Man. You could have Macho Man Randy Savage.
See, I didn't know that. Like you could have said Macho Man and Randy Savage, and I would have thought they were 2 different people.
No, it's the same person.
Okay.
Oh
That's
man.
Cool. Never got into it.
This is definitely a one-way conversation then for sure. And then that totally negates my question that I had for us. Oh no.
What was the question?
So
I'll answer it anyway.
1996. July. Hogan comes out and it's supposed to be the Outsiders who become the NWO. I'm telling you the soap opera line, okay? You know who the NWO is? No. This is WCW, World Championship
I know
Wrestling.
NWA, but that's something different.
Different. NRA, I know you know that.
That's something
I know you know NPR. I know you know that. But this is the NWO. It's the New World Order. They were going to be like the bad guys of WCW.
And they're fake acting fighting?
They're not fake.
Yeah, it is.
It's choreographed.
Okay. These guys will take 47 punches and not have a single blood drop on their face.
Yes, they do. You don't see the blood packet split on their forehead. Ric Flair, you don't remember Ric Flair?
I know who Ric Flair is.
Sting?
No.
Oh, no. Oh.
And I also hear something else. I know Ric Flair is also the Nature Boy.
Yes.
So I knew.
Okay.
I knew a fake name to a fake wrestler, man.
Yeah. The Giant?
No. Andre the Giant?
There's 2 of them. Andre the Giant is the original.
I know him because he was in The Princess Bride as an actor.
So 1996, July 7th.
I did see a Hulk clip where he picked up and flipped Andre the Giant. I'm like, okay, you are a strong dude.
Yes.
If you can pick that guy up.
Yes. And that's when he hurt himself really bad in that.
Okay.
Tore his back all up, shoulders all up. He had to have surgery after. So 1996, little Kyle is in 6th grade and he's watching Sting, Lex Luger, and Macho Man take on the Outsiders, and they're just getting their butts kicked. Okay, they're losing the match
because that's what's choreographed,
and that's what's choreographed
for them to do.
That's what's designed. And then there's supposed to be a 3rd person for the Outsiders. Okay, so it was 3 on 2, 2 from WCW, or excuse me, 3 from WCW, and then 2 from
that Woman Crush Wednesday.
No,
tried to keep up.
WCW is a World Championship Wrestling.
Oh.
So, although I like the tongue-in-cheek here, okay? I like it. So, as they're starting to get defeated, all of a sudden, Hogan comes out, and they play his music. He's running out, and they're like, okay, he's the guy. Come on, Hogan, get him. Well, then he drops the drops the leg drop on Macho Man, and you realize that he's turned heel to the bad side. and I cried. 6th grade. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I cried. But still loved him. That's where you get your fandom for your person. Like, you're not a fan of one or the other. I'm really kind of surprised that you weren't into that at all. So the question was, is he the most popular athlete of all time?
No.
I think I'm going to disagree with you.
Really?
He's the most recognizable, popular athlete of all time. He has to be. In our generation, you're going to, since you don't watch wrestling, you're going to pick someone like Troy Aikman or...
No. I don't know that anybody... I mean, like Michael Jordan.
Okay. At some point, we need to put our Mount Rushmore of athletes. And he would be on there for me. Hogan.
Mike Tyson. I mean, you think about Mike Tyson, similar fight sport, still fighting, and movies, you know?
Yep.
Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
A lot of fighters come to mind when you think about... Because, I mean, the problem
it's not a team sport either.
That's true, but also the problem with, like, football is there's a lot of people who just don't watch it. And, like,
right.
Also worldwide.
Right.
I mean, heck, The Rock, with all the movies he's done.
Right.
And the worldwide acclaim for those. Like, he's really recognizable. Now, a lot of people who maybe watch The Fast and the Furious in Europe don't know that he was a wrestler.
Okay, that's fair.
So maybe he's not recognizable as an athlete, more of an actor. But no, I think there's athletes more famous than Hulk.
Well, R.I.P. I'm really sad that he passed away. And apparently it was from extreme fatigue.
He had neck surgery.
He did, and they nicked his esophagus a couple of weeks ago. And basically the only thing that could cause it to heal was just rest. And so he was on a tour promoting several things. He has a new beer coming out. He also started a new wrestling federation.
Of course.
Out of Madison Square Garden. It was going to be in New York. And then he had several new of his like pop-up stores that were going to open. And so he was flying around, and they had told him, like, look, you got to rest, and he wasn't doing it. And, you know, when you're 71, you got to rest.
Yeah.
Shoot, I feel old.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, like, when you're jet setting across the country all the time. And yes, over Michael Jordan, I think he's a more popular athlete than Michael Jordan, says the Twitch.
That's hard.
But so this week,
Michael Jordan was in Space Jam.
Oh, yeah, he was. So was LeBron James, though.
That Space Jam doesn't count.
I'm really glad to hear you that one.
We don't talk about Space Jam. That Space Jam.
I'm really glad to hear you say that. But so was Muggsy Bogues. And so was Sean Bradley.
Yeah, but they're not Michael Jordan. What about all the shoes?
Huh?
Shoes?
The Muggsy Bogues shoes? No.
Jordans.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of my athletes. Hogan, Jordan. Maybe, I really need to think this through.
Maybe Hogan for like a very slim age demographic.
I don't agree with that. I mean, if you're 60, you know who Hogan is.
I don't know my son knows who Hulk Hogan is.
We need to call him out here and ask. I know my daughter would, but that's only because I make her watch it.
Yeah.
We actually sat and watched the entire SummerSlam.
Yeah, I've no idea what you're talking about.
Wrestling of 1996. But this week, so this week, have you ever like, I don't know if this ever happened to you or not. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. But I'm walking down like just an aisle. And all of a sudden I go, womp, 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 and went all the way to the ground. Ankles give out, everything. No. I'm walking up the stairs today at the pizza place we were at. We went to County Line Pizza out on 205 or whatever, 276. And I'm walking up the stairs, and my foot hangs in the dadgum stair, and I fall up the stairs.
Okay, Biden.
I know. Then I'm sitting in the gym, and I sit down. I'm like, oh no, I sat in gum.
Oh gosh.
So like 3 times this week, I did something that was very old manish. And it was like, what in the heck is going on? What is going on? It's just a rough.
The last time I fell, I was chasing my kids, and I used to be pretty fast. Not anymore.
Yeah.
And my top half of my body got out above my feet.
Mm.
So my feet weren't moving as fast as my front half was.
Yeah.
Top half was. And I was like, oh no. Tuck and roll. And I did.
All right. On to politics. Well, one other thing. Buc-ee's this week was announced by Newsweek, honestly, as the best convenience store for 2025. And I posted on our Facebook. I was like, you heard it here first on the podcast. And you did send something. I don't remember if it was, I think it was you. Sent an article. It was on Apple News about the people in Colorado coming out against it. And I was like, hey, see, we covered it first. You heard it here first.
It was Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
But they had a news story about that Buc-ee's we covered on Colorado, how the town didn't want it and the mayor called him like a bunch of names and like had to resign and stuff. And we said they're dumb because they should want a Buc-ee's. And that made national news. And I was like, we covered that on the pod before the Wall Street Journal did.
Well, then now there's apparently one in Georgia right on the beach.
Yeah.
And the bright lights of this Buc-ee's are causing the turtles to go the wrong way.
It's been there a minute though.
I didn't know how long
that's
it was
not
been
a
there.
new Buc-ee's. It might have been the first one outside of Texas because like that was always the thing. Like you had Buc-ee's in Texas, and then you had the one if you went down to the beach, like the you said Georgia Beach.
Yeah, Georgia Beach.
Okay, I'm talking about like Alabama.
No.
There's
Yeah.
been like a Gulf Shores Buc-ee's for a long time. Okay, so other coast.
Now I'm curious on where the first one was outside of Texas. You're right, Robsdale, Alabama,
Yeah.
January of 2021.
That used to be the thing. You had them in Texas, and you had them down there on the beach in Alabama. The one, and that was it. And then they started expanding and bringing Buc-ee's to the rest of the country.
Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri. There's tentatively one planned for Colorado, Ohio, and North Carolina.
That one in Colorado is the one we're talking about.
It's gone though. It's not going to happen. They're not going to allow it.
It is done.
I think it's done. That got squashed at city council meeting 2 weeks ago.
Those guys don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
We need to talk to them. Be like, listen, you really want this.
There's another one going in Sulphur Springs.
Ooh, that's cool. We need more towards West Texas, but I'm saying I don't really go that direction that often. We just did, and I don't know that we'll ever do it again. So,
well, like
we got them down 35, we got them down 45. Now we got them starting down 30 and 20. So
yeah,
I think we're covered.
So is Sulphur Springs part of the Metroplex?
I think so now.
Man, see, I think that's a little far.
It is, but I know people who live basically there or like come be getting close to there that work in Dallas.
Yeah.
So
we lived there for 5 years.
I figure if you can live in a city and commute and work anywhere in the DFW Metroplex, there are people who live in Weatherford and drive to Fort Worth.
Right.
And work in Fort Worth.
So I looked this afternoon. It's 80 miles one way.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. So I drove from our hometown to Sulphur Springs every day.
Yeah.
But it was opposite traffic.
Right.
Opposite the flow of traffic. So, I mean, it was 40 miles, and I could get there in
But you're
35
driving
minutes.
into the sun both ways, too.
That sucked.
Yeah.
I underestimated that whenever we were planning that, but
Yeah.
I only did it for a school year. But so they are planning a new data center out there in Sulphur Springs, and then the national news advertised it as Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So it got me thinking of twofold. First off, is Sulphur Springs of East Texas considered to be the Metroplex? If that is, where is 80 miles from Fort Worth? But like you got to think Waxahachie. So does that make Denton part of the Metroplex now?
Oh, yeah.
So it goes from Denton to Weatherford to Waxahachie to Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
That's a large piece of land.
Well, like the outer loops and everything of the Metroplex, if you look at just where it lights up, basically, of Dallas Mid-Cities and Fort Worth, it's the size of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Like
So
you
that's
take
like
a map,
Mesquite, right?
Yeah. Take a map of an outline of Connecticut. You can drop it on the DFW Metroplex, and the Metroplex barely fits inside of it.
Right.
That's how big just basically a two-city Metroplex is for us.
So this is a bit of an old news, and I don't remember if it happened when we were on the pod, but I know we talked about it in our group message when A&M Commerce switched to East. It was going to be East Texas.
We talked about it.
Which was the Dallas one. I don't think that would be considered to be Dallas, though.
Yeah, I think that was one of the problems people had with it.
Yeah.
I like they switched to, they're now East Texas A&M.
Yeah, I like that.
And they used to be, before they're in the A&M system, were
Right.
East Texas State University. So.
Right. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting because when I read it, like the headline was new data center coming to Dallas. Well, then when I opened it up, it's in Sulphur Springs, and I was like, whoa, it's a long ways away from Dallas.
National news, though, right?
Yeah, it was national.
Yeah, so they got to say that. Right?
Well, and two, it was it could have just said East Texas or something along those lines. But if you look at, like, when we talked about last week or the week before when the president was in Central Texas or the Hill Country, I got a little upset that they didn't label that correctly either.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you were kind of on the fence on that one, but it's like, to me, it seems like you gotta, I don't know. It says here the president of the university did claim commerce was part of the Metroplex.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said the community forum and they just laughed him out of the room when he said that. Because I don't think it's part of the Metroplex, but it's not far. It's not a long drive, but it's not Dallas.
No, I mean, there's people who live there and drive to Dallas
Yeah.
and go to work. So
Yeah. But I do think,
that's
too,
kind of
like,
my test, right?
if you're recruiting someone, though, if you're like, hey, come to Dallas, and you land at DFW, and then you drive, and you drive, and you drive.
I'm trying to think about.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Bucky's going there. I do think that Bucky's going there and a data center. I think the Metroplex has made it that far. Like, especially if you drive there since COVID. I mean, it's a huge turnaround there. Quick West Wing update, by the way. Episode 5, I'll finish that today. I'm still in. And it's interesting to me because this almost could have been written for right now. Like, as episode 5 went along, they were talking about an open office policy to where they were trying to come in and out of, where people were coming in and out of their offices, either complaining or bringing up stuff. I found it very interesting, kind of what they were talking about, kind of the dynamics that they were having to deal with, and I'm still in.
Yeah.
So it's I really enjoy it, honestly. And the music is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
It's very classical style, very airy. I like it a lot. It's very, very good. You're correct on that, by the way.
It does. I liked it from the beginning. One of the things I like the most about the West Wing is Aaron Sorkin, the writer. And I've probably mentioned this before, but anything he does, especially with the West Wing, he has a lot of stuff going on off camera.
Yes.
I cannot stand when you're watching a show and it's two people having a conversation and they're explaining to you all the background and details of their conversation that they normally, if this is two real people having a conversation, they wouldn't be doing. Like how they're just explaining every little detail to you. I cannot stand that. I really like the style of writing where it's more real, where you're jumping into a conversation where these people have already had conversations that you didn't see on camera,
right,
that they're continuing on. So you don't get to know or hear everything, and then kind of it comes together later.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Yeah, it almost treats you like you're not stupid.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, where it's like, okay, you can understand that there has been something happen that you may not have seen for a person.
There's so much TV these days that you can kind of watch and scroll your phone at the same time. You know, you can kind of take it in.
Yeah.
TV and movies. And like with that show, you can't.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you've got to pay attention.
Yeah, or you're going to miss something.
Right. The show's not going to make sense. You're going to miss out.
So national news this week, the Idaho murderer was convicted of 4 first-degree murder cases. This is the case of, excuse me, in the University of Idaho, of the 3 college girls and 1 male that were murdered in their kind of frat house. I remember when this came out, it was kind of shocking because it was like, okay, there's a lot of details that didn't make a ton of sense. Amazon just put out last week, actually, it might have been Monday, a 4-episode series on it. And they weren't allowed to interview the cops or the lawyers that were there that were involved in it because of the gag order that the judge put out. But they did interview all of the family members, and then In the house, there were actually 6 people. And for whatever reason, he only killed 4 of them. He only went to very specific rooms. He only went to, and there were 2 girls in there that he didn't go into their room, and they ended up going to the basement and staying in the basement. And I remember when it happened, there was a lot of like, okay, why did these 2 girls make it? Like, are they part of it? Did they do it? Kind of comes to find out they were just terrified because they thought they saw something, but then it's like, it's kind of late. It was 4 a.m. in the morning when this happened, and it was just, it appeared to be, even from the series that I watched to following the court case, he didn't speak. The guy that did the murdered these people. He didn't speak in court. He had his lawyers file the not guilty, and he ended up with a plea deal of he would plead guilty if they removed the death sentence. So he got 4 life terms plus more, and then he had to pay some retribution of like $250,000. It just doesn't seem like enough, in my opinion. We've talked a little bit about the death penalty on the pod, but I just like this just seemed to be for me anyways, it just seemed to be absolutely heinous and unnecessary.
Yeah, I think this is a type of story that would, I would see it, think it's tragic and move on from it.
Right.
But as a dad that's going to be sending a older daughter to school, to college soon, like it resonates a little differently.
Well, my sister-in-law, soon to be sister-in-law, was at Oklahoma when it happened, and she was terrified. Now, obviously, she ran in a different social circles, like social media circles, because when this happened, and it wasn't like anybody that they couldn't figure out exactly who it was or any like connection to why they were murdered. Yeah, it was like she said it was like they could have come to Oklahoma, you know, and she lived in a fraternity house or a sorority house, and you know, and then this guy that did the murders, which is absolutely crazy, he went to Washington State University, which is like 10, 12 miles away from the University of Idaho. After he did it, he drove back to the university, had changed clothes and everything, got in his car and drove home to Pennsylvania.
Whoa.
Within days, he did this. And like he was stopped 2 times on the way to Pennsylvania, and they had no idea that, I mean, obviously he wasn't a suspect at the time. Right. But come to find out, he was also posting, like they had like a group, like a Facebook group up there, like the Idaho murderer group. And he was in the group, posting in the group.
Oh my God.
And it was a cartoon image of himself.
Oh my gosh.
So like I'm watching this and I'm like, this is one of the eeriest things I've ever seen. Because we watch those true crime things all the time. But that one just hit different for some reason. I don't know. And I think it's like you said, it's like I have a daughter that's that age. And so it kind of.
And about to be away at college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mine's staying home, but because, you know, I said I want all my kids to stay home until they're 30. Housing. That's right. I'm here for it. In other news, LeBron James is suing social media members for posting pregnant AI images of himself. So
here's the thing, and I just want to say this to anybody who ever wants to sue anybody. You have that right. This is America. You can take civil action and go to the courts. I didn't know this happened until he sued somebody.
I didn't either.
You know, like if you don't like the images, now they're really out there, right? And then what are they going to do?
Yeah,
you can't erase people's memory. Like,
well, you can't take their screenshots,
right?
Because that's if we had seen that, I promise you that would have been sent in the group.
Yeah,
I didn't see it,
but now I know about it.
But I didn't want to go search for it because then all of a sudden, you know, next thing you know.
Now I know about it because he's suing somebody over. So just think about that if you're going to sue somebody.
But it brought to mind, like, okay, so this week on South Park, I don't watch South Park, but again, it got brought to my attention. Trump was on there, and apparently he was in the nude, and he was laying in bed with Satan. I know the premise of the show, but I don't know the premise of this episode, and I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I'll check it out in clips or something if I know something about it, but it's like, that's funny. It's funny. It's supposed to be funny, and there's supposed to be humor along with the same thing that goes in there. So it goes back to like what we talked about last week with the late night talk show hosts. Like, if you're funny on both sides, to me, that equals out, right? Because South Park has made fun of every single president in the last 25 years. They make fun of everybody.
And
so,
what they cater to, I don't watch it either. I see clips. But it's been around forever. Like what?
I'm looking right now.
It's got to be like 20 years.
I know it's at least 20 years.
It's been a long time.
1997 was the first episode.
Gosh. 28 years.
27. This is the 27th season.
Okay.
And they just signed for another 5 years.
Okay.
So they're going to do 5 episodes for every 5 years. So they have another 25 episodes coming.
That's crazy. A show like South Park. It's going to be like the longest running show.
It may. Well, how long is The Simpsons? The Simpsons are still out.
Yeah. That's been a long time.
But like it then brought more like satire websites to mind, like Babylon Bee. I love that website. Like they posted some funny stuff this week. But again, it goes to both sides. Jay Leno came out this week. I posted this on the socials of like they asked him, like he was raising money for the fire, the Palisades fire. He went out and he fed some firemen and was taking care of them. And they were like, well, what about the political landscape? He was like, look, that's not my job. My job as a comedian is to make, in this setting, is to make sure that I'm using my talents for good. And this is what I see as good.
Yeah.
And he didn't say, no, I'm never going to make fun of Trump, or I wouldn't have made fun of Biden or whatever. But he's like, that's just not my job right now. And I think that has been the problem of late.
Jay Leno has a cameo in The West Wing. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
No, not yet. But it's like we have to get away from either you got to make fun of both sides.
Yeah.
Or just don't make political commentary.
And what I was going to say about South Park is they cater to what the other side is saying about the person when they make fun of them.
100%.
So like the thing where they did with Trump, like with the devil, right? Like that's what the other side says, right?
Correct.
You know,
Correct,
and
yeah.
so they're totally just like diving face first into all of it and making fun of it.
And I just think that I am glad that we're coming back to the center of things.
Yeah.
And again, we've talked about this a little bit, but even more now, like with even the advertising, right? The big Scotty Scheffler, when he won last week, it was about him as a dad, right? It wasn't about some political agenda. It's just, hey, I do this so I can provide for my family. And it's like, just do it, Nike. It wasn't some other...
Yeah.
And then there's several others advertisers that are coming out that are just kind of, it's not always family friendly, but it's just what we had anticipated and seen prior to the last 10 years.
Yep.
And I like that. I like that. All right. I want to talk, I know the Epstein stuff is not on our minds, but I do have a take on this because I've been doing a little bit more research and I've been listening and talking. I'm over it. Okay. What he did was horrible.
Yep.
Okay. So either release the stuff
Yep.
and let's move on, or don't.
Yep.
Stop talking about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like Rogan had on Mike Baker this week, and that's all they talked about for 50 minutes.
I know.
The first 50 minutes of the episode was that, and I realized that Mike Baker has a different perspective than most people. He's a member of the CIA and still does work with the CIA, but you could almost feel like in his voice, like the fatigue of it. Like, I don't think
what is left to talk about.
Well, they still want that list.
I know, but like what I mean, there's nothing new.
Yeah, and I'm over it. Like that seems to like I sent you a clip about the gaffled, not the gaffled, but the Congress is kind of putting themselves back. They're on recess, but they can go in. I did a little bit of research after I sent that to you, but like they're putting themselves in recess, but then they're coming back for like a special reading. Every certain amount of time. I don't remember if it's 24, 72, so many hours to read something.
Every 4 to 5 days.
Yeah, and so that way they can't push anything through without them being there.
Can't have any recess appointments if they're never in recess long enough. So nobody's there.
Right.
But they're going to come in and gavel in a session. You know, Johnson and Thune are there. Yeah. So they can come gavel in a session and read something, and then they're not in recess, which... I get it from the perspective of if Trump can do recess appointments, then it makes Congress less relevant.
Right.
I feel like there's got to be more to it than that. I don't know why Johnson and Thune are so opposed to recess appointments.
Well, I mean,
like I understand like the basic reason is Congress should have that authority. They're in Congress. They don't want to give up that power. that authority. It just seems like no one's ever done that before. So why are they doing it? Like, it seems like there's some other reason.
I think the main reason is that he was going to start calling people, like, they wanted the Epstein files to be released to a certain extent. And I think Bondi botched the whole thing.
Yes.
Like the messaging, and we talked about this last week, but the more that I've really thought about it, as I'm listening back to the clips and stuff that we talked about, and I'm hearing more and more coming out about it, it's just like, either let it go.
Right.
Or put it out there.
My 30-second take on it is it's one of two things. Either there was some really incriminating stuff and there was a list, and so when she said it's on my desk, it really was on her desk. And then as they dug deeper, they realized we can't release this.
Yep.
And that's one option. The other option is she was fanning the flames for popularity's sake, saying, yeah, I got the list. Yeah, I'm looking into this. Yeah, I'm fighting for you, America, kind of thing. But there really was just nothing there. So that's another option. Either one, she messed up. But at the end of the day, I don't have to know the answer to that question.
I'm right there with you.
And like, I know some people probably feel like they have to know. You're not going to know. You're going to have your opinion and what you think happened. But I'm at the place where I don't have to know the result of that. I'm okay with it. Like, it's horrible. She did botch it. However, whichever side you come down on it, she messed that up. I don't think it's a fireable offense. I don't think you need to get rid of her because of that. I want her out there actually fighting for the stuff that actually does matter.
Right. And we will not talk about it again on this podcast unless
something new
comes up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, as I'm looking through, like, we put together a set list, I guess you would call it, like for the podcast, and everything this week was centered around that.
Yeah.
Every part of the news, every part of everything was centered around it, and it's like, why are we doing this? And it's just old.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about the really big news of the week, and I'll let you go with that.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
So, depending on which news you follow, I mean, essentially, you have Tulsi Gabbard coming out and referring for criminal investigation, which the reason Tulsi's doing this is because she's the director of national intelligence. She's not a law enforcement, right? So she can't go arrest anyone. Her department doesn't go arrest anyone. She's the DNI. So she, based on her job as the director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, as the director of the CIA, has been involved with this as well, refers to the Department of Justice, who are the U.S. attorneys, and also the FBI, who are the U.S. police force. You think about them as district attorneys locally versus local police. That's how the DOJ and the FBI interact. Several names for criminal investigation. So, not saying these people are guilty. Now, she pretty much did.
Right.
She said it's incontrovertible, evidence. But she doesn't make that determination. The DOJ determines if they're going to prosecute based on investigations performed by their arm, the FBI, their police force.
Right.
So, top names on that list is a president. Like, she called out a former president, which is rare.
Right.
President Obama. James Comey, Obama's director of the FBI. John Brennan, Obama's director of the CIA. And then James Clapper, Obama's DNI, which is now Tulsi's title.
Right.
The director of national intelligence. Saying that they lied, they knew they were lying, and they conspired to make up the Russia hoax, which involves a Steele dossier, which was paid for by the Clintons against Trump, to make it look like that Trump was colluding with Russia to have Russia interfere with the election for Trump to win, which that piece of the puzzle has been refuted on both sides. Right. It is a lie. It never happened. They have, when they did the investigation, they did find Russia interfering with the election, but Russia interferes with a lot of things.
Right.
Data-wise, hacker-wise, counterintelligence, more than like we could ever speak to. We're not experts in that field. There are people who are. Russia, China, other countries interfere with what we do here as a country, and intelligence-wise, just like we've done forever. Like, propaganda has been a thing since when? Like, history teacher, like forever.
Forever.
Right? That's not anything new.
I mean, if you're looking for a real answer, it was around during the Crusades. So 1000 BC or 80.
Quite some time ago. So that's been a thing forever. And so it's not anything new to say that Russia did try to have influence over the election. But what I said back then, like when Trump first got elected and like was immediately called in for impeachment when he was first elected over this Russia hoax thing, like you got to understand, Trump was impeached over this.
Right.
His first impeachment in his first term over this that was completely made up by his opponents. And so everyone's like, when is Obama going to be arrested? And the answer to that is never, because he has presidential immunity.
Right.
Acts done in office, just like Trump. Remember when that Supreme Court decision came
That's
down?
what I was about to say.
And everybody was like, well, no one's above the law. The Democrats were like, no one's above the law. And they said it was Trump's Supreme Court who made the decision that said he was immune. Well, now Obama is going to benefit from that same presidential immunity. And nothing's ever going to happen to Obama, ever. It's not going to happen. Comey, Brennan, and Clapper, maybe not so much. And I would like to see that. Like, to me, like, there's been a lot of talk, and one of the pivotal points has been, is this Watergate or worse? And so Democrats will say no. Like, it's because Watergate was against a Republican.
Right.
So they're going to say Watergate was worst.
Right.
Republicans are going to say, no, this is so much far worse than Watergate. But just taking a step back from the outside looking in and being as unbiased as I can, Watergate was Republicans, Nixon from the top, covering his butt over some election fraud. Okay? This is a conspiracy from the president to mislead the entire American people, of which led to a president being impeached over a complete fallacy, over something completely made up. So I think it's worse. I don't know if what's going to happen to anybody. I'm definitely, there's several people in the camp of, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, I'll just tell you with Obama, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
So you don't need to like hold your breath on that one. I'm not holding my breath on any of them, but if any of the major players wind up being convicted, I'll be surprised. And Kash Patel on Rogan said that for much of these things, the statute of limitations ran out while Biden was in office. So they can't prosecute. They know they have James Clapper lying to Congress. Like, they have it like lock, stock, and barrel of things he said to Congress about this that were later refuted as actual lies, that he knew he was lying when he said them. But that statute of limitations for that testimony has already run out. So he can't be prosecuted for that. So I don't know that anything's going to happen, but I do think it's a huge deal, and I'm glad. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I want Pam Bondi investigating,
right?
Not Epstein.
Right. Well, I think you're correct. I just a quick Google search, or actually, AI. I was looking to see if a president has ever testified in front of Congress, and there has been 5. Would you like to guess the 5 out of curiosity? The 2 you just mentioned, there's 2 that you just mentioned have just done it. So Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Gerald Ford over the Nixon pardon,
yeah,
Woodrow Wilson over the League of Nations, and then Abraham Lincoln, military arrest inquiry. I think it's interesting. I think it goes back to what you said. It's Nixon was trying to cover himself, and Obama was trying to mislead the country. That to me is the sticking point.
Right.
So someone asked me today if my opinion has changed or what my opinions are on that. I just think that the Nixon thing was almost self-harm, right? He was trying to cover himself.
Yeah.
But this seems to, on the surface, what has happened within this investigation seems to be so much worse.
Right. The difference would be is if Obama trying to cover up while he was still in office, or Obama trying to cover up now what he did, what we're talking about that he did, that's similar to Watergate.
Right.
The cover up. But what we're talking about is the actual act. and the scale is much different
Right.
than Watergate. So, again, this is one of those things where I'm almost like, let's put a pin in it. Let's put it to the side on the run sheet for a little while, see what actually happens. Big news this week. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it again. But I'm kind of holding out until we see kind of the next shoe to drop.
Right. Well, if there is another one.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing, too, about
be.
And this is something that I was telling somebody who was asking me about. I'm like, you're accusing a former president, regardless of what you think about that political party or that person as a person, you're accusing a former president of the United States of treason.
Treason, yeah.
That is not something to take lightly.
Right.
Like, regardless if it's a president that you hated. I mean, I had a boss one time. He voted, the first and only time he ever voted for a Democrat was Jimmy Carter. Okay. And he would tell me weekly. Okay, and I'm not kidding when I say weekly. He had a portrait over his desk of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah,
like it was a Jesus statue to him. Like quite literally, he would talk to him, and he would talk about how he just despised Jimmy Carter, and I never could quite figure out why he despised him so bad. I still to this day don't really know why, but I can promise you he would not have said some of the things that you're seeing on social media about Jimmy Carter that you're seeing about Obama from the Republican side of the aisle. Yeah. And he despised him. And so like, I think that's where you have to be cautious, because it's just like, and my brain goes to things like 9/11. After 9/11 happened, we had the Patriot Act passed. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of national security things in there, but there was also a lot of things that harmed the American public in it.
Yeah.
Did we need it? Maybe.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, oh, well, don't worry about it. We're never going to use that. Well, it turns out they did.
Yeah.
They did spy on everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. Like, you can't accuse a president of treason without firm facts.
There better be something.
It better be something, and not just, and again, I believe Tulsi.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that she did her work, and I believe what she's shown us. It's only 44 pages, which doesn't seem like a lot. But I believe that what she has is true. But it just, you're basically in politics accusing a former president, I'm repeating myself again, of the highest crime in politics.
Right. There better be something here.
There has to be.
She did not issue a memo. She did not issue a written press release. She went and stood next to Caroline Leavitt in the White House press briefing room, took the podium in the White House, and accused a former president of treason. There better be something here.
And the alleged actual term is Obama-directed coup. So I'm with you too on the pen. We will talk about this again because it's going to come down.
Yep.
There will be more come out over the following weeks, and as the Congress comes back into session, back from their recess, there'll be committee hearings and all that kind of stuff that happens. But man,
it will be interesting to see what Congress does with this, how they pick it up.
Yeah,
I think here's my little just what I'm waiting to see, and everybody else can probably make their own judgments here. But if Congress picks this up with vigor, and running headfirst into the fire with it, there's something there. But if you see, Speaker Johnson crawfishing a little bit on it about hearings and like, well, we're taking a look at things and we might, have like kind of, you see that kind of, then there's nothing there. And that bothers me a lot.
Yeah. Because now this is the second time that this has happened.
Yes.
And we've talked about a lot of victories for Trump, right? But the Epstein files was somewhat of a communication gaffe.
Yeah.
Whether it was there or whether it was not.
Least, yeah.
At very minimum, it's a communication gaffe. And I'm waiting to hold my opinion on what has happened with this.
Yeah.
Because it's a very high accusation.
Yeah.
And it's... And I agree with the Twitch. The Twitch says 30 years of hard labor in Leavenworth for Comey and Clapper. I agree with that to a certain extent because there's been even more stuff coming out.
Clapper won't make it. He's not looking that great.
No, he's not.
But then you have like this kind of thing going on. I don't know. We live in a crazy time. And I feel like everybody who's ever lived is going to say at different times, like live in a crazy time, and people who are older than me will be like, well, you think this is crazy. Let me tell you about something that happened, before then. But put this together with a couple months ago, Comey arranging seashells on the beach to say 8647. You know?
Yeah.
Like he just...
We didn't even really talk about that
and
all that much.
Like and like that kind of just went away.
Yeah.
But like, are you crazy? Like, you need to be committed because you're just arranging random seashells, and we're supposed to. And his defense was, I was just arranging seashells on the beach. I thought it looked cool, but you arranged them as 8647.
I was looking for tinfoil in here because I'm about to put my tinfoil hat on for just a second. Okay, I'm gonna take it for
like
the
just
Twitch. Put it on.
Take what Tulsi said this week, and then take what Comey did a couple months ago, and like put that together in your brain.
So this is a long roundabout way, but I really feel like too this goes into that wokeism ideology. Like, I think that probably Comey is a decent human, but when you completely buy into something and being completely married to your ideas, and you are the only person that is right, your way is the only way, and not be able to at least listen to the opposing side, that's when this kind of stuff happens. That's when you see the 8647. That's when you see, oh, we're going to accuse the current elected president of Russian collusion.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have this big thing because guess what? In 4 years, we're going to be right back in here.
Yeah. And
so you also have the person that took down potentially the first woman president of the United States, now as the director of national intelligence, presenting this to the country.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of gone full circle, but it's like, man, this idea of woke and this idea of the far left has really, really got a hold of some of these people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's if I'm explaining that the way that I want it to come off, but it's like you have to be able to accept defeat. And I know that there was a whole lot. That's the other thing, like January 6th now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that all turns out it wasn't really what it was perceived to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a lot of other things that's come out of that. And it's bad for the country. It's bad for the country.
Right, right.
And I don't know how, in fact, today, I was reading a report today that the Democratic platform is at 17%. Like, how do they recover from this? Because now the person who is the face of your political party, which is Obama, Obama's still the face.
Right. Can't argue that.
Is now being accused of treason by arguably one of the most powerful women in the country, who was also a former congresswoman, who also defeated the last person that was the face, Hillary Clinton, in a debate.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you recover from this? But then also, like, I'm of the thought that the more political parties, the better. But right now we have two, and they need to have opposing factions that make sense against each other. And right now, the Republican Party is the only party that has any sense going forward.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the Democratic Party is completely gone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because it's not going to go away. There's too much money involved, although they are having a hard time paying their debts. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
It wasn't on the run sheet, but they're like millions of dollars in debt, and they haven't paid some of these venues and all this stuff back from when Harris ran.
Right.
And so the struggle that they're going to have to recover is not going to be easy.
And they have David Hogg as their leader.
Yeah.
They don't have the DNC, the Democratic Party, does not have a political leader right now. Like Obama is the de facto leader, right? The last president to win. Well, Biden, whatever. That's not enough time. And that's one that's going in the Epstein list of like stuff we're not going to talk about anymore. But I think your other Democrats are just holding steady for right now. You haven't heard a lot from Josh Shapiro.
No.
He's running his state. He's running the state of Pennsylvania. And I think they're going to let some of these others kind of stick their neck out and get their heads chopped off for a little bit. And then he's going to let the dust settle, and then he may make an appearance. Someone like a Josh Shapiro. And I think that's why they don't have a leader, because I think any Democrat right now that tries to come out and be the leader is going to run into a buzzsaw.
Well, you're seeing that now with Gavin
so
Newsom.
They want, it's kind of like, it's a really horrible analogy, but when those personnel boats hit the beaches of Normandy and all the guys in the front row get shot, I feel like that's the way the Democratic Party is right now, with like trying to put somebody out there. Is like, whenever that gate comes down, whoever's there on the front row is getting shot. Whoever goes out first is going to get shot. So they're trying to hold back a little bit, let somebody else take the fire, and then they can kind of come in, save the day, and might have a shot.
Well, you're seeing that with Gavin Newsom, who's being taken down by Spencer Pratt of the Hills.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, in the Palisade fires, they're talking about $100 million is gone to NGOs.
Yeah.
And now one of those NGOs received $50 million, who was run by Gavin Newsom's family.
Right.
And so the Twitch asks, and this is a what if, by the way, I don't know this person or the Twitch follower. So welcome if you're new. What if Obama goes to jail? Not likely, but what if he did? They would be without anyone. Yeah, and we said it just a few minutes ago, but we bet on this podcast, not necessarily on politics, but it's less than 1% that he goes to jail.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of immunity that a president has had that's already in place by the Supreme Court.
I just wonder, and legal experts weigh in if we have any listeners. The Supreme Court decision was for acts performed officially in office. And Obama did some of this after he left office.
Yeah.
So if he's doing these things after, January 20th, 2017, what does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that question. I'd have to dive into some of that stuff, because presidential immunity has a time period too.
Yeah. I mean, the Supreme Court said it's for acts performed while in office.
Yeah, and they said AOC is the front runner.
Gosh, man, I don't know.
I saw another thing today that was it was Ricky Rubio. No, it was Rubio. What's his first name?
Marco.
Why was I saying Ricky Rubio? That's a basketball player.
That's why you were saying it.
Marco Rubio. That's why I was saying. Yeah, you're right. So Rubio was being interviewed, and they pulled up a poll that was J.D. Vance in 2028 running against with him as vice president. And they ran like all those simulations. It was against AOC, against Newsom, against an unknown. And in every single one of these, I don't remember the simulation that they used, what their, like if it was like Politico or Political Facts or whatever ones they used, but they won every single one at this point. And some of them, like the one against the unknown, it was like 340. They would have won that many electoral college votes, which is crazy to me in this environment. I don't think that that's even possible, but it is what it is. I just think that
I'm just pulling up Polymarket. So Newsom's 21%. This is odds. And then Polymarket again, people got to put their money where their mouth is actual betting. So the Democrat nominee for 2028, Gavin Newsom's 21%. AOC is 16. Buttigieg is 12. And Andy Beshear, he's the governor of Kentucky, is 7.4.
So here's my thing on Gavin Newsom. Hold on, I want to finish that thought. My point is it showed the Republican Party at this point winning the next 4 general elections. So you had Vance, Rubio. And for the one person out there that says DeSantis was his vice president under Rubio.
Okay.
But Newsom isn't even being like pushed by the Republican Party, and he's shooting himself in the foot. Like he's being taken down by, I'm saying this again, but like he's being taken down by a reality star.
Yeah.
And he's in like,
that's what I mean. He's the first guy out of the gate. He's taking all the fire. Like, and he's governor of a huge Democrat state, but he's going to get destroyed. He's in it way too early. He's starting way too early, and he's taking all this fire right now.
The pen is in this story.
Yeah.
Because when they come back, I think it's in September, right? Yeah. So when they come back, it'll be how much smoke is still around from this story. And then where there's smoke, there's fire. And then does Mike Johnson run with it?
Yeah.
Because now...
That's what I'm watching for.
Now we're 12 months away from midterms.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be... If the Epstein story... I know I said we weren't going to talk about it anymore. But if the Epstein story is still big...
Yep.
And if this story is continuing to carry on, that's going to be a huge headline for the midterms going forward.
Right.
One other major story that kind of hit the market or hit the news cycle kind of in the background, but since I'm in teaching circles, I kind of see it, is Bernie Sanders put forward a Senate bill called, I'm trying to find it up here, blah, 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 blah. The Pay Teachers Act. Okay, so this would require that states have a minimum salary of $60,000. It triples federal funding from Title 1A to low-income schools. It includes provisions to boost pay for paraprofessionals, educational support staff, and to at least $40,000 a year or $30 an hour. And then it was co-sponsored by all Democrats. Just kind of a brief overcome. It came through in March, and then it was read on the floor before the recess. Now, two thoughts on this. One, this will not pass. This will not even go to the committee. First, because Trump has said multiple times, we need to fund from the states. Okay. Yeah. He is also going to release the $6 billion to the education system next week. He said that today in Scotland.
Yeah.
So he's kind of crawfished a little bit on that. We talked briefly about it, but the state of Texas has done a better job of funding the school system with the last session. There's still some funding in the special session that will be there, but this goes absolutely nowhere.
I'm not 0% on it going because Senate's 53-47. I think you can find 4 senators to vote for this. Senators in high education states, more not left leaning, more center. Your Murkowski, your Susan Collins. Like, I think you could find 4 senators to vote for this, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
But it's got to go to the House, which, okay.
You could find a handful of
214, 218, right? You need 5 or so over there. With the margins being so slim, you can get things passed if in the minority parties. I mean, now, like you mentioned, your committee people, those are much more of your hard line. Like, people that make those committees are the ones that are more in line with the administration on that policy, and it's got to get out of committee. So that's where I think your hurdle is. And so I'm not big on it. I would give it like a 10% chance.
I'm less than that.
Yeah.
I just don't see it doesn't fall in line with what Trump wants. It doesn't fall in line with the campaign,
but
it doesn't fall in line with any of that.
Like these recess appointment issue, you have some pushback from the Republicans in Congress saying, well, we're the one who make the laws.
That's true.
So I could see
it's a valid point.
That's why I'm giving it like a 10% chance, because you could get some senators, maybe not enough on the committee, to push this and say, no, I mean, this is a good thing. We're going to at least let it go out of committee and go to a vote. I could see them making that case and like pushing back on Trump a little bit and saying, no, we make the laws here. We'll talk about the laws here, and it's your job to sign it or not.
Yeah, I could see him vetoing it.
Yeah.
Just because it goes so against what he's put out there.
And if it does that, and also he knows it won't get a 2/3 override. So
correct.
But I could see some, and then they save some face if they have come up for election in the midterms.
Correct.
Like, no, I tried. I voted for teacher pay against Trump. I voted for teacher pay. Like, they have that feather in their hat, but they also know they have some protection because it's never going to get the 67 it needs to overcome a veto.
So the question was asked on the Twitch, why do some school systems completely stink? So that's a very, very broad question. But here's the answer. First off, depending on what state you live in, it could be the way that the state has aligned. So, for example, I know Texas very well, and I know some of the more southern states pretty well. I also know a lot about Chicago school system. Don't really know why. And a lot about Wisconsin. So in Texas, you're funded by 3 different places. You're funded by, first off, you're funded by your local school district. You're then funded by your state level. They fund a good portion of that. And then you're also funded from the federal level. The local school districts doesn't necessarily mean the town. It could be outside of the city limits. It could be a district is zoned. All of the state of Texas is zoned for a specific public school system. Whoa, I almost fell off this stool. That would have been really bad. That would have been another old man thing.
That would have been a blooper, though. We would put that on the
for
YouTubes.
Sure. But in a state like Chicago, the city of Chicago runs that school district.
Yeah.
So, and then in Wisconsin is very similar. But you have to remember, a lot of the states, Texas does not, but a lot of states rely very, very heavily on federal funding through Title I, through Title IX, specifically those two, especially for your kid that it doesn't fit the round circle into a round hole.
Yeah.
Right? If you have a special education child, they get a lot of federal funding. If not, then that is where you start to see the fall off. Now, the state of Texas does a okay job as a Texas teacher, an okay job with funding of the districts. They did a much better job of like earmarking things for very specific targeted funding this last session, and we'll see what that happens. But when you're talking about funding across the board, across the United States, it depends specifically on your state and then specifically on the district or school system that you go to. And we don't have near as many private schools in the state of Texas as are in other states. So that's where the discrepancy of like where school vouchers comes in, and at the national level versus the state level. Also, the state of Texas is very, very, very large. Most of the people that listen to us are in Texas, so you understand how large the state is. And so putting a private school away from a large city is very, very expensive.
Right.
And so that's where those rural school districts are they are the community, they are the town, and they're a very integral part of that town. Whereas if you go to a state like Connecticut or you go to a state like Illinois, where the big city isn't quite as far away, you can see some of that going there. Just hold on just a second. It goes. From Massachusetts. Oh, all I know is what I've heard from Connecticut. Like A's. Oh, if you're talking about the grading of the schools, that's different based on each state.
Yeah.
So each state has their own grading system. So like the state of Texas has a grading system that's based on a couple of factors. First off, our state assessment, and then also based on growth measures that are aligned within the state through the University of Texas Tech.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the, like you just mentioned, I know far less about this than you do, but like with the grading, a lot of it does have to do with that state assessment, which we've talked about at length, that you're judging an entire district on how the kids do taking a test on one day of the year. You have a bunch of kids who have a bad day, like that's a big chunk of how they're graded. So you can have a school that's graded badly and they could just have like test scores for whatever reason weren't great for that particular year. It doesn't mean the school's bad. I think it goes back to that funding, not only how the funding comes in and how much funding, but what that leadership does with that funding.
Right. So the next question they ask is, do you think that states should have more individual power? Oh, hold on. Or more from the federal general power? If you're from Massachusetts, thank you for listening, but we're also from Texas, and we think that Texas does everything the best. So
not perfect,
but we do it the best. And I think that can be a little bit skewed from our perspective, because I think we do it the best. So I think that the state should have more say, but then also there needs to be accountabilities to the states to fund the schools. Yeah. So like there has to be some kind of accountability. I
like leaving it at like taking it even a step lower to the local school district level. You know, in Texas, we have these independent school districts, right? They get this state funding, also get federal funding. But leadership there's a state board of education, but you have local leadership for the district making decisions and spending decisions and leadership and strategy decisions at the local level. Like you have a school board doing that at the local level in Texas. And I like that because they're the ones that are most plugged in. A lot of the school board members have kids in the district or have had kids go through the district. They live in the town. They know the town. Like they know the administrators. Like I like that local touch of, okay, we have this bucket of money coming in from the state, from federal government, and we know best because we're here locally and connected how to use those funds to the best ability of our students.
Yeah, and I think too, I don't know if you're talking, maybe you're talking about the report card system. I don't know any of the report card systems in any other states, but there is a certain growth measure. And come on down to Texas, bud. I don't know who you are, but come on down. But the spiders are not as bad. He says that we have massive spiders and scorpions. It depends on what part of the state you're in,
it's
honestly.
It's a big state. Out west, you do, no.
Yeah, and I just think that too, like a bill like this, it's going to struggle in this administration.
Yes.
Now, it maybe it does pass. I'm not very high on it, but maybe it does and maybe it doesn't. But I think that I like that you're at least seeing some of it because the messaging hasn't been there at all for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So I found that kind of interesting. It was a footnote in the news cycle this week because obviously it was very heavy in Epstein and Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard and
right.
Treasonous acts. So, but yeah, we didn't get to talk about Vegas. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. We always like it. I came back with a good amount this time.
Good. So success.
The gambling was good this time. The first day, not so good. First day, we went down. Recouped a little bit, but still down a good amount. I'm not a high roller by any stretch of the imagination. I'm definitely a low roller. But then day 2, came back, like most of the day 2. So we had a really good couple of craps runs, and then I sat at a blackjack table. And okay, I'll dive into this for 1 minute. We're not a gambling podcast, but I do like some blackjack and some craps. I never ever have done the side bets on the blackjack tables. And if you gamble, you know what I'm talking about. It's like you have your regular bet, and then you have these little smaller circles up here where you can bet different things. Like one of them that's kind of fun to play is like it's called if it's suited. So like say both of my cards are hearts, and the dealer's face card is also a heart. That's a flush, and it's like a 10-1. So whatever you put up there, you win 10-1. Like little side bets like that.
Gotcha.
There is this one kind of blackjack called free bet blackjack, and it's really popular. All the casinos have it now, all of them on the Strip. And basically you get free doubles. You can double down a 9, 10, or 11, and you get free splits for anything that's not a 10. So if you get 2 8s, you can split them. And normally when you double down or when you split, you have to put the same bet back out there. So if I have $25 out there and I want to split my 2 8s, I got to put another $25 out there. And now I'm basically playing 2 hands with these 8s, okay? So that's normally how that goes. Well, in this free bet blackjack, the house gives you the money for your second bet. And so that's cool because if you win, you get the winning money.
Right.
So basically it came down to this. I put $200 on a table, and I was like, I'm going to bet $50 until I'm out of money. And so the very first hand I won on a blackjack, it's only 6-5, whatever. And then I lost like 4. So I had my last $55 left. Okay. So I put 50 out there, and I put $5 on this free bet, which aside, I'm horrible on podcasts. Like you really should show this on video, but aside from getting to use the house's money on splits and double down so you don't have to put up more money, you can also bet odds on how many of these little free bet chips you get. Because every time you do a free bet, they give you a little golden chip. So say I'm going to split, because this is what happened. I got 2 8s right off the bat. So I split them. So I've got my original $50 out there, and then I also have the house's $50 out here. Well, lo and behold, what's the next card? I get another 8. So I'm split out again. And so then I'm like,
so now you have 3 8s.
Yes.
And there's nothing else on them, right?
No, and nothing else on them yet.
Okay.
2 of them are house money. One of them is my money. Then I get a 3 on the first 8, which is a double down hand. That's 11. So I get to double down and get another one of those gold chips. Next card comes out, and then I double down, face down. That hand is now done. My original hand is done. I've doubled down. Face down, I don't know what card it is. It's just more fun that way. Next card comes out, another 8. I split out again.
So now you have 4.
Yes. Next card comes out on my next 8 is a 3, another double down hand. So now I have 5 of these golden chips of using house money out on this board. The odds on that free bet to get 5 in one hand is 100 to 1. So my $5 I put out there on this free bet odds now turns into $500.
Oh no.
That's all. No,
That's a good. I know that's what I'm saying. That's like a good deal.
That's okay. So basically, turns out like after and then the dealer busts, and so I'll win all these other hands. I've got four 8s out there. 2 of them are doubles, and so I won $800 on a $55 bet.
Nice.
I never talk money.
That's good.
When I talk about betting, but that one was so fun. I'm going to talk about it, and it's just cool. Like I would have had to put up what $300?
Yeah, to run 8.
To run those splits and those doubles. And I only had to put up $55 and I won $800. So, I mean, next time they may get it back for me, but that one was fun. So yeah, Vegas was fun. And we usually gamble a little bit. This one we gambled a little more than we normally do, but it turned out good for us.
Did you make any prop bets for the NFL games?
I didn't. I thought about it, looked at the sports books a little bit about stuff that was going on, but I'm going to be back in October, and so I'll be in the middle of the NFL season. And so I'm looking forward to making some mid-season bets.
We'll definitely throw some $10 bets down.
And betting on some games when they're actually playing. We're getting in on a Thursday night.
Okay.
So I'll have the Thursday night game, and then I'll have the games on Sunday, and then we're leaving on Monday. So
gotcha.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, we start hard and heavy tomorrow. I mean, for me, we got camps 3 days this week, and then we got off on Thursday, and then season starts on Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's going to be a different year for me as far as like I don't have a daughter playing at the moment in school. But we're, I got 2 littles that are going to be blowing and going full time with all kinds of sports in school. And the wife moved into a new school, like a brand new building, not a new district, but the new school. And that was fun. That's fun. I'm kind of glad. They had a rule this year that they're not allowed to hang a whole lot of stuff. Uh-huh. So my wife teaches elementary, and if you are the spouse of an elementary teacher, you spend hours hanging stuff up. But it's a brand new building, so they have certain rules that you have to follow for a couple years to kind of keep it nice. But I'm kind of glad.
You got out of some work.
Yeah, and I mean she does a good job, and she's real like a perfectionist when it comes to certain aspects of it. But It's been a good summer for me. Is refreshing.
Yeah.
Last year was not stressful, but super busy with having a senior. You're about to find out.
I know we're getting ready to paint parking spots and everything.
Yeah, have y'all done that yet?
No, it's coming up.
Okay, I was about to say I thought I saw that on Facebook that was coming, but yeah, it's going to be a good week. I'm excited for this season. I'm excited for the new school year. I'm ready to get back to work, kind of getting back into the rotation. The kids are ready for the schedule, but other than that, man, we're busy. Hopefully the news stays somewhat calm this week, and then have a good week.
All right, see you.